Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another symptoms video, update video, and I am currently 35 weeks today. So I've been doing these videos about every 2 weeks. So my next symptoms video, I should be about 37 weeks. So I may or may not get to film that one depending on if Romy decides she wants to come early. So this could be my last symptoms video. We're getting that close. So let's go ahead and talk about how baby is doing right now and how I'm feeling this late in my pregnancy. Okay, so right now baby Romy is the size of a honeydew melon and she is about 18¼ inches long. Marley was, I think, 19½ inches long, so she's almost as big as Marley was when she was born, which just goes to tell me that I am so close to having this baby. She is just over 5 pounds. Cannot believe how big she's getting at this point. It's pretty much like a real baby in there, if you know what I mean. So I can definitely still feel her moving around and getting bigger. There's not a lot of room left in there. By this time, your baby is floating in about 1 quart of amniotic fluid. It will now gradually decrease until I give birth. Her kidneys are fully developed and her liver can process some waste products. Most of her basic physical development is now complete, and she'll spend the next few weeks just putting on extra weight. Okay, so now let's talk about mommy's body. So right now, my app is telling me that at 35 weeks, heartburn and bloating should be a symptom that I'm experiencing. Your uterus now reaches up under your rib cage. Your ballooning uterus is crowding your other internal organs too, which is why you probably have to pee more often and maybe dealing with heartburn and other gestational distress. Yes, I am. Clumsiness. You might feel clumsier than normal, which is perfectly understandable. Not only are you heavier, the concentration of weight in your pregnant belly causes a shift in your center of gravity. Plus, thanks to hormonal changes, your ligaments are more lax, so your joints are looser, which may also contribute to your balance being off a bit. So again, this app is always right on the money. The other morning I woke up and I did feel like my equilibrium was off just a little. As soon as I got up from bed, I felt like, I just really couldn't catch my balance when I was walking to the bathroom. It says, soon your baby will descend into your pelvis, giving your lungs more room, but putting more pressure on your bladder. I do feel like I have more pressure on my bladder because I can feel it and I do urinate more often. So that is it for mommy and baby and what we're experiencing right now at 35 weeks. With only 5 weeks left to go, let's talk about all of my symptoms that I've been experiencing over the last few weeks. So the first symptom that we're going to discuss are my Braxton Hicks. You all know that this symptom has been with me since about 20 weeks and I'm now at 35. At first they were just your typical Braxton Hicks contraction and they weren't that intense. But now they are getting more frequent and definitely more intense, especially at night when I'm sleeping. If I have a full bladder, things like that make it a lot more intense to where they're kind of painful. And I know I've mentioned that before, but even more so than they have been, which from what I'm reading could be a sign that labor is getting very close. So it does make me excited, although they're not fun. So another symptom that I've been experiencing, this is a new symptom. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been experiencing some cramping. I would say it's pretty mild. It's nothing intense. There's no blood associated with it, but it does feel like menstrual cramping. It comes and goes. Mostly I notice it at night, but sometimes during the day as well. And yeah, it just feels like menstrual cramps. Sometimes it's more intense than others, but again, it's another sign that tells me that labor is definitely getting close. I do have a doctor's appointment on Monday I'll be just over 35 weeks, so I'm definitely going to talk to my doctor about that just to make sure everything's okay. I haven't started getting any cervix checks just yet. I don't know if they'll start doing that on Monday or if they'll wait and do it the following week when I'm 36 weeks. I do feel like my body is preparing for labor, and I'm getting really anxious about it. So another new symptom that I've been experiencing is lightning crotch. I personally hate that term. I was telling my husband about it the other day, and I've been experiencing it. He doesn't like it either. It's so weird. I feel like we could come up with a better name for it, but it is what it is. But I have been experiencing some sharp pains down there, and again, it's another sign that labor is getting pretty close. So go ahead and check that one off the list as well. It is pretty painful. I remember I was driving somewhere, maybe I was driving home or something, and it kind of started, and it lasted for a few minutes, and then that was like the longest one that I've had, and then it kind of comes and goes, but it's not frequent. It's not consistent. I can't even say that I've experienced it every single day over the last couple of weeks. It's just been kind of hit or miss. But it is pretty painful, and it's not fun either. I have been still urinating a lot. I do wake up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, probably 2 or 3 times. And then I can feel my intense Braxton Hicks let loose after I empty my bladder. I do pee several times throughout the day, and a lot of times my bladder won't even be that full, but because there's so much pressure, it just feels like I have to go, but of course there's not that much there. So I just feel like I'm in the bathroom all day long. My breasts have been a little bit more sore than normal, so that's a new symptom. I noticed it. We just got some maternity pictures done not too long ago, and I noticed it when we were taking our pictures, and it's kind of followed me ever since then. Just a little bit more sore than normal. My acid reflux is still here, and y'all know that's been a symptom that I've had for quite some time as well. I would say it's getting a little bit more intense to where I'm actually throwing up in my mouth quite frequently now. Probably at least once a day or once every other day. I will literally just throw up in my mouth. So not having fun with that symptom either, but could be worse, I suppose. With my belly getting so big, I feel so full all the time. I feel stuffed like a turkey all the time, and so I'm not really as hungry. I do find myself wanting to skip meals, a lot of times dinner, just because I feel so full and I'm just not hungry. So I do try to make sure that I snack throughout the day, especially if I know I'm not going to be eating dinner. Like if I had a really big lunch, I'll make sure that I still snack. That way I'm still getting something in there. But I just feel so full, it's hard for me to eat meals or anything close to that. So right now I usually eat like a small breakfast. I'll eat a pretty decent sized lunch, and then for dinner I just don't want much. But it just kind of depends. But yeah, I just feel really full and just not very hungry. But kind of the opposite of that, I'm very thirsty. I feel like I'm just dying of thirst all the time. So when I go to work, I usually will bring like 4 or 5 drinks with me, and I'll drink those throughout the day. And then when I get home, I'll fill up like a big bottle of water and drink it all night. And then I usually try to stop drinking so much about an hour or so before I go to bed, so I'm not up all night long. But I feel like I'm still doing that anyway, but at least I'm trying to make it not as bad, I guess. So, but yeah, I'm not hungry, but I'm extremely thirsty right now. My skin has been so itchy recently. Now, I've had itchy skin previously in previous weeks in my pregnancy, but right now it's a little bit more intense. And it's not just my belly. To be honest, my belly is probably the least itchy. It's like my back and my arms. I'm assuming that's a symptom of me being pregnant because my skin is stretching pretty much everywhere, just not my belly. But it is kind of annoying. Like, I'm super itchy, and I put lotion on every single day and keep my skin moisturized. I'm drinking plenty of water. So I don't know why I'm so itchy. Now I did have that rash on my back that I spoke to you guys about in my last video, and it is still there. I can't remember what the doctor called it, what kind of rash it was, but it is still there. But it's not really that itchy. That's not really where I'm itchy. I'm itchy like on my arms and the top part of my back, and the rash is kind of on the lower half of my back. So it's just kind of weird. And I'm just right now, I'm just putting on a lot of lotion and just trying to get through it. I have been experiencing an increased amount of vaginal discharge lately, I have noticed. So again, from what I'm reading, that's another symptom that labor could be getting pretty close. So that one doesn't really bother me too much. It is what it is. There's no pain or annoyance that goes along with it really. So that one I'm totally fine with. I've been definitely in nesting mode. I want everything to be as clean as perfect as possible. I want everything to be as perfect as possible. Right now, I'm planning on doing a couple different videos, so I haven't fully put Romy's room together because I'm wanting to do certain videos to go along with me putting things together, and it's driving me nuts. I really just want to get her room together, but I really also want to get these videos up for you guys, and it's just finding the time to do it and getting it all done. I just want to get it done, but I also want to film the videos. I'm like trying to figure out when I'm going to get all this done and pack my hospital bag and do all of this stuff, but I also want to include you guys. So I'm just trying to find time to get that done. But it's driving me nuts because I just want everything to be perfect right now. I still need to put the car seats and the vehicles. I want to get my bags packed and put them in the car, because with my contractions getting so intense and all of these other symptoms that make me think labor is getting soon, I'm kind of starting to stress that I'm going to go into labor and I'm not going to have any of this done. So I've really got to get this stuff done and stop procrastinating and just do it. Another symptom is I'm feeling more groggy. I'm feeling more tired. I can tell at work. Normally at work I'm totally fine. Some people get kind of sluggish in the afternoon, like after lunch, but I've never really been that type of person and just haven't. But here lately, like we were in a seminar, like a Zoom seminar for something the other day, and I was just like zoned out, zombie mode. One of my coworkers walked by and she was like, "You look like you're gonna fall over." And I'm like, I'm so tired, like I could fall asleep right now. And that's happened to me a few times. So I'm just more tired, which is weird because I do feel like I'm getting better sleep than I have been. I still will have random nights where I don't sleep at all, but for the most part, the past 2 weeks, I've had more good night rest than I have not. So I am very excited about that because as soon as the baby gets here, we know that I'm not gonna get any rest from that point on for a while. So I'm glad I'm getting a couple of nights under my belt now. So I feel like I'm sleeping a little bit better, but I'm more tired during the day. It's weird. The last symptom that I've been experiencing recently is I've been kind of lightheaded and dizzy a little bit. I don't know if that correlates with what my app was saying earlier, where my balance is kind of off, but I know that if I'm standing for a long period of time, and it doesn't even really have to be that long, but even just like a few minutes, I get really tired, I get really lightheaded, I just feel like I need to sit down, and the longer I stand up, the more kind of dizzy and lightheaded I get. I don't know if that's normal or not, so I'll probably bring that up to my doctor as well. I'm sure it is. I'm sure once you get to this point in your pregnancy, you're supposed to be off your feet as much as possible, but I'm gonna bring it up to her anyway. Last thing that I want to talk to you guys about, if you've been following my journey, you know that I have been wanting to stay within a certain amount of weight gain for this pregnancy. So for those of you who are new to my channel, let me just go ahead and fill you in. With Marley, I gained quite a bit of weight. With my first, I probably gained close to 60 pounds, somewhere between 50 and 60 pounds with her, and I got stretch marks, and I just wasn't being very healthy with it. So with this pregnancy, I definitely wanted to eat better. I wanted to drink more water, and I wanted to gain less weight. Something healthy and within reason. Of course, I'm not trying to only gain 10 pounds, but my goal was to gain somewhere between 30 and 35 pounds total for the length of my pregnancy. And as of right now, at 35 weeks, got on the scale this morning and I have gained 35 pounds. So I'm right there at the top of my goal. And I still have 5 more weeks to go. Maybe. Marley did come at 37 weeks, so I may only have 2 more weeks to go. But if I gain, usually you'll gain a pound a week at the end of your pregnancy, or half a pound. It's either half a pound or a pound. So at this rate, I'm totally fine if I go over the 35 pounds just by a little bit. Some people say that towards the end of your pregnancy, you lose a little bit of weight or you stop gaining. That's another sign that labor could be near. So that might be the case too. Like I said, I do feel full all the time, and I'm not really eating full meals at night, even though I do try to snack. So that may be part of the reason that people don't gain as much in the end, just because you're not eating as much. I feel comfortable with that. I feel happy about that. I feel like I have set a goal for myself and I've met that goal, because the end is very near and I'm nowhere at the amount of weight that I gained with Marley. It's good to know that I can set a goal and meet it. And there are times where I fell off the wagon and I in no way ate salads the whole time. I did indulge in my cravings, and I did let myself have, you know, different things that I was craving at different times, but I was able to manage my weight during this pregnancy, and I'm really happy about that. Alright guys, well that's it for me. That's all of my symptoms at 35 weeks. That's how baby is doing and mommy is doing right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!